Hello, everyone. Welcome to the sixth week of Easter edition of Monday Musings. Today on the Dominican calendar, we are celebrating St. Antoninus of Florence, one of the great early pastors of the Dominican order, who was, I just learned actually from Father David today that he was considered for a time for the title of Doctor of the Church, um, along with many other great moral theologians and other theologians in the church, but hasn't happened yet. But we still pray for his intercession. I hope everyone is doing well. We had a marvelous weekend this past weekend. We had four more children make their first Holy Communion. We're getting ready to celebrate the sacrament of confirmation for one adult and two of our teenagers who weren't able to be confirmed when the Vicar General was here a couple of weeks ago. So do pray for our children and their families. Hopefully you've learned by now that St. Dominic's principal, Katie Parada, was selected by Bishop Soto to be the new executive director of Catholic schools for the Diocese of Sacramento. So the search for Katie's successor has already begun. That process is run primarily from the school office in Sacramento, which means that Katie will be very much involved in the process of putting together and doing the initial background checks, reference checks, whatnot of qualified candidates to be St. Dominic's next principal. But I feel very confident with Katie being the new executive director that she will make sure that we get a good successor for her here at St. Dominic's. As I understand the process, and I learned this from Father Jerome when I came, that my involvement will come later in the process, and so that I'll only be dealing with the best candidates for the position. So I'm not involved all the way through the whole process, but of just looking at the top candidates and interviewing, speaking with them, figuring out how we can work together to build on St. Dominic's marvelous legacy and to move forward in a wonderful way. So we, the parish, congratulate Katie on this selection. I was teasing her. It's like, your doctorate's only 2 weeks old, and they've already tapped you. But I understand from her, and actually the bishop also called me to thank me for the gift of Katie. Um, so that obviously that she was the top candidate in the search, in that job search. So it's certainly a feather in her cap, and we're certainly sorry to lose Katie after 7 years, but also there's always an opportunity for the next great thing for us here at St. Dominic. So I'm sure that process will be happening at some point during the summer. Right now, of course, it's just in the kind of announcement phase, and obviously Katie's working to finish up this school year, which will finish up at the end of this month, um, and I'm Mr. Snyder also moving on from that position, and so all sorts of transitions going on. But you guys know about transitions. Most recently with yours truly here, and also with Father Brad leaving last year, and us welcoming Father Gregory. So, and speaking of Father Brad, a number of you have asked me about him. I've not heard directly from him in a while, but if all is going according to schedule, he should be writing his first thesis at this time, and then applying for doctoral level studies, and then presumably in the fall, then starting those studies for his doctoral degree, which should take about 3 years. if kind of if the pattern, if he follows the typical pattern of getting the doctorate in sacred theology or STD. Um, he's getting his license, which is the degree, the pontifical church degree directly below the doctorate. He had already done over half the studies necessary for that degree prior to his ordination, with the idea that he would go on for studies. So that's what's going on with Father Brad. Um, if you saw our feed this weekend, you saw that Brother Patrick, former residency student here in Benicia, made his solemn vows this past Saturday. We had the privilege of hosting the solemn vows. It was a small crowd of friars, sisters, and invited guests. Unfortunately, with the COVID restrictions, we couldn't open it up. But unfortunately, that's kind of still where we are. Also, Brother Athanasius was there. You maybe saw him. He was one of the servers. Of course, Brother Patrick, Brother Matthew, Brother Chrysostom was one of the deacons for that Mass. Brother Chrysostom will be ordained a priest on June 5th, and will be having his first Mass the next day. So certainly our prayers go to Brother Chrysostom as he prepares for that, and our prayers continue to go with Brother Athanasius, Brother Matthew, and all the other student brothers who have been here in Benicia. Brother John Peter will be formally finishing his time with us at the end of the month. I still hope that he will be here in residence for at least part of the summer, so you will get to see Brother John Peter around, though perhaps not as much as he was, or as he is currently, until they figure out, his student master figure out what he is doing this summer. We will be getting another residency student next year, Brother Jose Maria Barreros. Because of the pandemic, I don't know him that well because we've been in lockdown for the last year and a half, so I haven't gotten to meet him or know him that well. But I know that Father Stephen Maria, the student master, and the provincial Father Christopher would not send well, we don't have bad brothers, would not send not an excellent brother to Benicia. We've had a marvelous run of marvelous young men. So God has continued to bless us. So that's what I got for you this week. We'll be celebrating the Ascension this coming weekend, and Pentecost the weekend after that, and all the post-Easter feast as we move into ordinary time in June. So hope and pray that everyone is doing well. It's marvelous to see so many of you at the 9 and 11 o'clock masses outside. It was a little toasty at the 11 this week. The 9 was nice. We had a nice breeze going on. But it is wonderful to see so many of you coming back, and even at the other masses, others are coming back. So it's a marvelous sign that although we have been physically separated during the pandemic, that we are still very much spiritually connected, and that connection will be manifest more physically as the restrictions loosen, as please God, this pandemic winds down. So continue to pray for all the victims, especially in India. If you've watched the news, it's really horrible how the disease has struck the country. So we're not out of the woods. We still need to be careful with one another, keep one another safe, wearing masks, washing our hands, staying physically distant with people beyond our households. So, but you've heard all this a million times before. So, but just a reminder, because that's how we're going to make sure this pandemic ends. So, God bless you. Hope to see you soon. Bye-bye for now.